Today's episode is in partnership with California Love, K-Pop Dreaming. How did K-pop transcend continents to become the global sensation it is today? Host Vivian Yoon shares the history of how the genre came to dominate the charts and explores her own story of what it means to be a Korean American today. Listen to California Love, K-Pop Dreaming from LAist Studios, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Thank you, Chris, and welcome back to Idol Talk Pod, where we explore South Korean pop culture one obsession at a time. My name is Nathan, and I'm your host.
Hey everyone, I'm Ashley, and I am so excited for the ZB1 debut, which is happening on July 10th. They're releasing their first mini album titled Youth in the Shade, and they've already released some teaser photos. They look so good.
Interesting.
Like idols.
I'm excited for their K-Con appearance, performance. That sounds like it would be really cool. My coworker likes CB1, which I did not expect because he approached me about them. And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, they're looking mighty fine. And Sok Matthew.
Well, they're gonna be idols now. You gotta transition from trainees to idols like right away.
The glow up is real. And they also broke a record for the most amount of album pre-orders for a group debut.
Ooh.
780,000 albums.
Oh my god. It's a lot.
I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy like steak. I'm gonna buy everything.
Okay, thank you, Ashley.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris, and I'm very excited today because Eric Nam released his tour schedule. I guess it's one of his largest tour dates to date. He made it a note that he had a lot of dates for this specific tour. So, and it's not gonna, from my understanding, it's not gonna be or he's gonna do something different with this tour. So I'm very excited. Come November 11th is when he'll be in LA.
I saw he had so many shows. I think it's like 60 something that he released today. And I was like,
whoa.
And all over the world.
Solo artist. Like he's gonna do everything.
Yeah, it looks
I just
like
wonder if his voice is gonna hold up, you know?
I know.
Wow. Yeah.
When we did the meet and greet for him, he wasn't even talking during the meet and greet.
Right, he tried to save his voice.
Yeah, so
that's
maybe.
True.
So happy for him that he's doing an even bigger venue in LA this time. He's doing the Shrine Expo. It's going to be a great show.
Wow.
It's pretty big.
It's big. I mean, he sold out the World Turn last time, and he's going for bigger and better. So
yay!
He's at the same venue in Phoenix. But
oh, okay.
I just want to say this tour, I'm looking at it now, it ends April 5th, 2024.
He's booked like a year out.
Yeah, crazy.
So crazy.
We stand a Korean American from Atlanta.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Hey everyone, it's Gabe, and if you didn't know, episode 123 has a poll on it on Spotify, so go take a look. What do you think Lucas will do next? So, poll's open for 34 more days. And I personally voted for non-idol life because I think he's just not cut out for it after,
Why is
everything
he still
that's happened.
signed at SM then?
He's not signed at SM.
Yeah, didn't he leave?
The whole point is that they severed.
Oh, really?
You were on this episode, girl.
I know, I forgot. I thought he was still at SM, just like
no,
not...
they severed. He doesn't have a current label.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Does that
with
change
Gabe.
your vote, Ashley?
Yeah, kind of.
What did you vote for?
Nothing yet, but now I'm going to vote for non-idol life.
I voted for modeling.
I agree with that too.
I feel like he can get an easy Louis Vuitton gig whenever he wants.
Exactly. Like it. Yeah, I am pretty sure it's going to be modeling too. He needs to support himself.
Right. Okay. Well, listeners, on episode 123, you can cast your vote, and we'll keep you all updated on the results. Okay, thank you to our listeners for tuning into this episode. We are back with another round of K-Bops, and we're just going to go straight into it. And Chris is going to start us off tonight.
Yes, so my K-Bop is kind of going to send us off into a congratulatory tangent about BTS. So I'll just go into it. My K-Bop is Take Two by BTS. So about this song specifically, it actually peaked at #1 on the Billboard. I think it was top 100 chart. I lost my source. But from what I saw on the charts, that it mainly charted #1 in the US and in Vietnam. But in Korean charts, it charted at highest number 11. But this song was really, I don't think they were trying to go for anything. It's just in celebration of their 10-year anniversary, which was just this past June 13th. Someone correct me if that's incorrect. No, June 10th, 2013. I believe is their anniversary. They released this song on June 9th. And so this song is just a song for ARMY, and it's kind of showing their appreciation, but also more so their appreciation into them going into this next chapter. And I think that's why they use that line Take Two, because they're very much saying, okay, it's like the new phase of BTS, and especially after all of them going on their military enlistments and pursuing solo projects. So it's a very much an appreciative fan song. What I wanted to go into is that the celebration in Seoul, oh my gosh, like they went all out for them, and I was very surprised by it. Like landmarks were in purple, like several bridges.
Oh, wow.
I think there's a few towers. I don't know the tower specifically, the name of it, but just Seoul was all lit up in purple for BTS, and that is the most I've seen, like a celebration for a group. And they didn't host their normal concert type of celebration. I think RM went, I believe it was the Olympic Arena. And he answered phone calls, and he had like a little fan meeting with them. Jungkook called in, V called in, and so you can see clips on Instagram. I was watching clips of just him like answering the phone, and he doesn't know that it's Jungkook, and he's like trying to figure out it's him, and Jungkook's like, "Hyung, it's me."
That's it?
Wait,
That's all they did?
Wait, so who did this event? Who did this event? RM did a solo
alone,
event?
By himself.
For their 10th anniversary?
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally him in the big ass Olympic Stadium answering phone calls.
I think they did it like, you know how Pasadena Rose Bowl has a park off to the side, and that's where Head in the Clouds was?
Yeah.
So I think it was that kind of venue. So like the Olympic Arena was in the background or around there, but it was off to the side. It wasn't actually in
Was
the
it
arena.
open to fans?
Yes, it was open to, I think there had to have been some kind of ticketing process, because they were sitting in chairs, they had seats, and they had a barricade. Like, I'm sure it was organized. But
that's funny that RM was like the only dude that
then that also triggered more theories that he's going to be the next one to go to the military. Mm-hmm. That triggered theories again on social media. It was just running wild that, oh my gosh, do you notice how short his hair is? Like, he was wearing a hat, like blah 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 blah. So, but it was for sure just him alone at this event. There was no other members. All the other members were called in, or Suga's on tour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and it was very interesting to see because this is obviously a big milestone for them for any K-pop group. 10 years is a huge milestone. So it was interesting to see how celebrated this was by Seoul and by ARMY.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, according to my theory, if they all want to be back by 2025, they need to leave like this year or beginning of next year.
That's another theory I saw on Twitter, that someone was saying that everyone has to go. And I'm reaching back. I want to say I read something that like Jungkook and they're not going to pursue postponement. They said that they're going to go for it. They're not going to try to postpone their enlistments whenever they get their notice, because they want to be back.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. If Jungkook won't get like a forceful you need to go until for like 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So,
but he's gonna go this year because they're gonna resume group activities in 2025, apparently.
According to their record company.
According to HYBE.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, side note, so I made a friend over the weekend. This friend works for international something at Disney Plus, and I confirmed HYBE very much does have an exclusive deal with Disney Plus.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why their documentaries are on there.
And because he was asking me about it, like, oh, did you see this? I worked on this, and I was like, oh yeah, like, do they have something? And he's like, yeah, they have a deal. Like, they're trying to open it up to more in the K-pop industry, but right now it's with HYBE.
Oh, so we'll probably see a lot of like TXT, Le Seraphim content on there.
Bonus 9.
17.
Oh, yes. So my source says that Disney Plus is very much interested in expanding their selection.
Interesting.
Okay. What did everyone else think about the song? Ashley, you liked it, right?
I did, yeah. And so they only had one video I was able to find. And it was them in like a white room wearing all neutral colors, just singing into microphones. And every time I watch a BTS video, I just get reminded about how much I love Jungkook. He's just such a good singer and he's handsome. And I really enjoyed the harmonies between like V and Jimin, or like V and Jungkook. Jimin was singing the harmony to the other members' melody, and it just sounds nice because he has like a higher pitch tone. Yeah. Overall, good song. I still like The Planet more, but
It's a good song too, for sure.
yeah, it's a fucking bop. I listened
Wait, so
to it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When did they record this? Because I've noticed that all of the voices are in there.
Yeah, they for sure recorded it before Jin and J-Hope.
Which means like this was a long time ago, because Jin left a long time ago.
They even released like group concept photos. Jin and J-Hope are in there. Like this was for sure pre-planned, pre-arranged. They were ready to go even before Jin enlisted.
So this was their 10th anniversary gift to the fans.
The song.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Which actually, now that you say it, Jin enlisted in December, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like a long time ago.
This is way in advance. Then.
I know. I was like,
wow.
This is like... I guess you know that your 10th anniversary is coming up, and that's a big deal. So that makes sense. Okay. Awesome. BTS fighting as always. I mean, they don't need encouragement from us.
They got
I wonder what other stuff they have kind of recorded, right?
Right.
I think a lot of the idols are doing that now. Like Baekhyun, during his enlistment, he was like he had like pre-released messages that were coming like
That's
5
true.
months, 1 year.
But I thought it was a thing that like when you're in the military, you're not allowed to like Like you're
I thought
you're
that
not allowed to have like
too.
income
I
from.
I thought that too. But I mean, we might talk about this a little bit later. I'm noticing with EXO too, like Kai is there and he's taking pictures, but he's enlisted already.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And even like Jin and J-Hope, they're also appearing on this stuff.
Yeah.
So I
I
don't
think
know.
the speculation might be that and rules might have changed, but also maybe norms, more simply norms might have changed. Like
Mhm.
before, maybe it was just like a formality that they wouldn't release public content while they were in public service. But maybe people found out that like, oh, it's not against the rules and it's all cool. I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe.
Maybe someone knows. But
Hmm.
all right. Thank you, Chris, for that recommendation. We're gonna move to Ashley.
Yes. So my recommendation is in celebration of EXO's 11th anniversary, similar to BTS. And it is the pre-release for their 7th album releasing in July. And the song is titled Let Me In.
고요한 맘을 파도에 눕힌 채 원하고 있어 이토록 나를 네 품속 더 다니고 싶어 그럴 수만 있다면 날 let me in 'Cause it's blue 너의 두 눈 Gonna let me in your deep ocean 매일같이 기다려
This song was released on June 12th. It is, and I'm going to read the description off the Melon music charts of the song. It's a beautiful ballad that is harmoniously combines dreamy sounds and restrained emotional vocals. It explores themes of longing, emotional depth, the necessity of a loved one, intimacy, attraction, submission to love, and a longing that seems to be eternal. So it's basically a love song, and there's two interpretations to it. It's like a love song in a romantic relationship, or because it was released at EXO's 11th anniversary fan meeting back in April, it could also be interpreted as like a love song to XOLs. So yeah, there's only one stage of this because obviously Kai had to leave before their comeback, and it's at their fan meeting. EXO fan meeting, EXO o'clock is what it's called.
Oh, so they did sing this ballad out there.
Yeah. So at least we have one thing before Kai had to go.
That's so sad.
I know. I haven't really looked into the details of Kai leaving, but I heard from another podcast that it was because of the case with Ravi and the military, and something with Ravi where he was like postponing his, or like he was doing some loopholes with his postponement, and then I guess like
the precedent carried over to him.
Yeah, that case kind of ruined it for everyone, and they were like, no, we're done with this, like everyone has to go when they have to go. And that's why Kai had to leave right away, unexpectedly. So yeah, I really like this song because it obviously has all of my favorite people. The song opens with my man's Dio. Baekhyun is singing
Fresh off of his raise.
Yes, fresh off his race. He's singing his sweet runs, high notes. Chanyeol, he's the rapper, let's remember, but he also sings.
Yeah, he does.
At the end, and it's just, the sounds are so sweet. I love hearing their voices. I love them. I love them. I love them.
You want to say it again?
I will say about the upcoming EXO release, I saw like some of the teaser pictures on Twitter, and the Kai pink hair is like popping off right now. It's like almost 100,000 likes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. It's
Rightfully.
like out of all of them too, they picked the member that's not actually going to be active during the comeback.
I know. It's like it's too bad because that pink hair is.
It did look good. I saw it this morning. It was really good.
Yeah, the teasers are very good. Very good.
Excellent.
Yeah. I forgot to add about the music video. So the music video is like very it matches the vibe of the song. What I've read online is that it kind of goes into the EXO lore but in like a subtle way. So for some background, the EXO lore, they're all like aliens from EXO planet, and they come from the Tree of Life, and they all have superpowers, whatever. But because they're aliens, like somehow the asteroid, there's like a big asteroid in the music video that like messes up everyone's individual storylines, and then the asteroid hits, and then there's like a time reversal, and everything that happened prior to the asteroid hitting is like now gone. Like for example, Kai, he was like in the middle of nowhere, and he was feeding this dog that showed up, like, and the dog was hanging out by his car, and out of nowhere the asteroid just like falls on the car, and Kai's like, oh shit, there was a dog in there, like I was just befriending this dog, and he runs back over to the car, and as he's running back to the car, like time reverses and the asteroid goes away, and the dog is actually safe, like happy ending. But yeah,
so there is some continuity here with their concept as a group.
Yeah.
That's what people are speculating.
I'm sure they're right.
Yeah, I mean, like, why would there be a fucking asteroid in the music video? It's just so random, you know? But yeah, but overall, it's a good video. I would check it out. They all have their individual scenes. Some of them are paired up with each other, like Sehun and Dio, or Chen and Xiumin, and other people are just like randomly in a field or like just doing their own thing. But yeah,
I think it's interesting how they went for a pretty slow tempo song, a very slow tempo song for their pre-release. Like I thought it's pretty bold to
yeah, I thought
come
that
out.
showed a very mature side of them. I mean, they're like all almost 30 now, so
Right. And they are a great vocal powerhouse group.
yeah, this is like the EXO that I know and love.
This is your EXO winter ballad,
Yes.
like just coming into play in the depth of summer.
I know, it's so great. It's got me into my fields. Like bringing the cold to this hot Phoenix like summer, you know. I just love it. I fucking love them.
Okay, well, looks like someone's excited about the album, and EXO did exactly what they wanted to do for their fans, to hype them up. Anyone else have any other thoughts on this song or this release, or any questions about EXO? Dio's movie is coming out in a couple of days, I think.
The one where he's stuck in space.
Yeah, it's called The Moon. I saw some teasers or the trailer for it like a couple days ago.
Yeah, he's working hard.
He's working hard as always. All right. Thank you, Ashley. We got some good celebrations going. 10 years for BTS, 11 years for EXO. And my recommendation this cycle is not going to be an anniversary celebration, but it's going to be a celebration of happiness and youthfulness. And my recommendation this time is going to be Broken Melodies by NCT DREAM.
I'll do anything to get back to you. Life is but a dream, we got history. I just wanna feel the chemistry, feel you next to me. You know that I hate this.
So Broken Melodies is a pre-release for NCT DREAM's upcoming third full-length album, titled ISTJ, which is a play off of like the acronym in Korean for Shizuni, but also for what everyone knows of as Myers-Briggs, right? So you have a
How is
question,
it an
Ashley?
acronym for seasoning?
Because in Korean, that's how you write it.
Oh.
And well, and NCT's in like in Korean,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's yeah, so that's what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's what people were speculating at first. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's Myers-Briggs. Oh, it's Myers-Briggs." And people were like, "No, it just stands for Shizuni." And
I thought it was Myers-Briggs.
but then it ended up being Myers-Briggs because they released a whole bunch of teasers
Oh, okay.
recently about how it's for social psych stuff.
Dual
Anyways, we'll get into that when we wreck something off of their third full-length album, which is coming up. But they gave us a little something to hold on to. So yeah, they released this on June 19th, which was about a week ago. It is a medium tempo rock ballad, which is something different, but also something so true to what they're good at. The song is about the difficulty of like a long-term relationship. Hence a lot of the song lyrics kind of speak to that, and then also the breakdown of the song itself also kind of symbolizes this long-term distance relationship that the seven boys are struggling with, so to speak. So in terms of the lyrics, I'll point out two things that stood out to me. One is my favorite part of the song. Well, one of my favorite parts of the song is this lyric, and I'm just gonna read it, and it's the first thing that gets spoken into the song, which is Jeno's part. He goes, "You owe me sleep." And first time I heard that, I was like, that's kind of powerful. You owe me sleep if you tell someone that. I was like, oh, is this not going well? Like something's not going well, you might break up. But I don't think he really meant it in that tone. I think he's being like a little bit jesting with that other person.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes on to say, "You owe me sleep. I'm on the phone with you all night, and I'm sending the moon and stars your way from Seoul to LA." And I was like, dang, that's a great start to the song. I don't know what everyone else thought, but I thought that
good.
first line, I was like, this is a really good start to the song. And like, "You owe me sleep." Let's just like sit in that for a little bit.
It's
Like,
a good pickup line.
That's
almost.
really interesting. And then it becomes more apparent that the song is really about kind of like this long distance issue, because the chorus or the transition from like the verse to the chorus always goes like, "I hate singing." And then they do like a really long ... into saying, "I hate singing broken melodies." So it's supposed to symbolize like you don't have that immediate person to pick up, where it's supposed to naturally continue. So I thought that was really cool. Kind of gives your ear like a little bit of an interesting pickup. I thought that the song, and I thought that the seven boys were a 10 out of 10 here. The vocals were amazing. Haechan and Chenla are going at it with the ad-libs again.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing, bright, youthful, but also youthful but mature, I would say.
Mhm.
Like, this is reminiscent of Hello Future, but also different in a really interesting way. So I really enjoyed this release because I like their more happy stuff. Their more sentimental happy stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought that this song was exactly that. Another part of the song that I really liked was the outfits were all really, really great. And I thought they just looked like they looked awesome. So yeah, the concept of it was a little strange, like kind of all over the place, but I tried to piece it together and it was giving like Homecoming, I thought. like
Yeah.
American homecoming. So there was school outfits and like school uniform outfits. There were athlete scenes where they're playing football or they're like, well, Haechan, one of my favorite parts of the music video is also Haechan's just sitting in the middle of the field. I know. And then the football players are just
Yeah.
crisscrossing around him. So it's like school, athlete, and then they also have preppy attire with like their cardigans and their button-ups with their ties. So I was like, oh, it's so interesting. This is like kind of homecoming weekend.
Yeah.
Like celebration of school and stuff, but it was like elevated. I really loved it. The choreo was also really, really interpretive, meaningful. Like there's not like a TikTok challenge that's really going around, but some floor work, some more interpretive stuff, and I really liked it. I really liked it when Renjun was in the center and all the backup dancers like fall at his command in a certain sequence.
Yeah, the choreo was very like interpretive.
Yeah, it was interestingly interpretive.
Yeah.
It
was like
yeah.
artsy, so artsy.
Very artsy. Yeah. Not like hard hitting.
Yeah.
But that's like true to like what the song kind of sounds like, so that makes sense. But overall, I thought this was a really solid pre-release. I think it got, a lot of good feedback, not polarizing at all. Me personally, I think this is like vocal performance of most songs that I've heard this year so far. They just really shine when they sing together. Mark is singing, Jeno is singing, Jaemin is singing, like the rappers are singing, and then the other, like Jisung is singing, and then the other three vocalists are just killing it. So I thought that this was a really solid release. I think it's getting Dreamzen's really hyped up for their third length album, which is going to come out in mid-July. So I'm excited. Great release. It's going to be one of my favorites of the year. And I'd be interested to hear what you all thought.
Yeah. I thought that upon first listen and first watch of the music video, I thought that the choreo was a little bit misplaced because it's kind of a slow tempo song and they're doing choreography to it. It was just a little bit weird. And then I listened to a reaction someone did and they described it so perfectly. They were like, it's giving musical theater.
A little bit.
Because it's so dramatic and artsy, and then also with the outfit choices, it also gives like High School Musical.
I just watched High School
Homecoming.
Musical.
Yeah.
Like for the first time?
No, just rewatched it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Is it giving High School Musical 1, 2, or 3?
I feel like it's a High School Musical 2 type of thing.
Well, it's summer.
I know, yeah. High School Musical is very summer, or 2.
Yeah, number 2 is summer.
End of summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's not so celebratory and grand, It's like still a little bit.
A little melancholy.
Yeah, it's melancholy. It's about a long distance relationship.
Right.
Right. That's why it doesn't give like High School Musical 1 or 3.
What was interesting about the backup dancers is that they had a lot of them this time.
A lot, yeah.
A lot of them. Usually they don't have that many, so that was different from some of their other releases.
Yeah.
Okay. What did everyone else think of the song?
I really liked it. It wasn't what I didn't expect it. Mind you, I'm also not fully like into NCT Dream compared to you guys. I'm more like an acquaintance, a casual fan. But I really liked it. I thought they do a great job with their melodies, and it was very sweet to the ear.
I also liked it. I think they're good at doing like a polarizing release and then a non-polarizing one, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's
Whereas,
interesting
like-
because they swapped them this time. Now it's the non-polarizing ones, so we know that the hard-hitting one is coming, I think.
Yeah,
Ooh.
which
We're
makes me
gonna
think
get
like
like a glitch
the
mode
title
or
track is
something.
probably gonna be like a sticker 2.0.
Or I mean, like glitch
Or glitch mode.
like hot sauce.
Hot sauce. Oh,
Like
I mean,
I
don't
think
mind
we're
those.
destined for that, for the
Yes.
third full-length album title track. But I'm so glad that they went for this as the pre-release. And again, like not a lot of boy groups are doing like bank on this, but actually this is really Dream sound. Like they are really good at this. So anyways, the last thing I'll mention is also something that's popping off is Mark's undercut. So everyone is really liking his haircut this time around. It looks really good.
yeah, I did see that on my Explore page.
Yes. So anyways, I'm looking forward to the third length album, and I'm sure we'll talk about it in a couple of weeks. All right. Gabe is gonna finish us off for this episode.
All right, so this time around, I'm recommending a song that was released earlier this month on June 5th, and it is Promise Nine's Me Now.
누가 뭐라 해도 더 느껴봐 me now 숨김없이 이대로 갈게 새로운 me now 이게 나야 이런 난 어때
So, Me Now is the title track off of Promise Nine's first studio album that they released earlier this month. They sold over 155,000 units in the first 2 weeks. And this is their first release since they had Stay This Way back in June of last year. And so it's been pretty much a year since they've had any kind of music come out. And in that time, one of their members left the group. So Jang Gyuri left the group right after Stay This Way promotions ended, and now she's an actress full-time.
Do you know why she left? I'm just curious.
So yeah, I looked at some interviews and read some articles, and it said that she was doing acting and the idol stuff at the same time before she had decided to leave, and she just said that it was like too difficult, basically. Like she was having a hard time like learning the choreo and like doing all of the kind of activities that the group demanded of her, as well as acting at the same time. And she felt that she was being like a burden to the group almost. So
Sad.
yeah, that was her thinking. And she also said like she wanted to be an actress more, and so that kind of pushed her in that direction. So it's too bad because Promise Nine is called Promise Nine because they have 9 members. And so
I'm
now they have
telling
8
you.
members.
Oh.
Groups got to be real careful with the numbers in the names.
Well, the 9th member are the fans now.
What happens if 2 leave?
I know, right? So yeah, Promise Nine has 8 members now. I'd be curious if they would like rebrand as Promise 8, but I feel like that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
No,
I think
the
so.
9th member, the fans.
Yeah, like La Seraphim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the song that I'm recommending Me Now is the title track off of this album. And it's spelled #Me Now. I don't know what the significance of that is, but maybe someone else knows.
That too.
Yeah. So anyways, it's called Me Now, and then it's basically a track that expresses the desire of the singer to break free from societal norms and be true to themselves. So the lyrics are all about like empowerment, not needing to be conforming to expectations of other people, acceptance, individuality, so that kind of stuff. And I feel like this was a very kind of classic Fromis 9 release. They have kind of that melancholy, like mid-tempo pop, like filtered, distant sounding vocals. And I feel like that's kind of something that they do pretty frequently now. And then, so the song itself was pretty successful. They got one music show win on the show, and then their music video has 16 million views as of right now. So the power of Flover is strong.
Flovers.
Yes. They're not a big fan base,
Clover?
but they are very dedicated.
Clover.
Yes, Flover.
Like clover, but flover?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Ashley, Flover.
It doesn't need to make sense, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Not all K-pop needs to make sense.
It just needs to be flover.
Yeah. So yeah, I really like this. It's like Fromis 9, I don't think of them as like one of my all-time favorite
Mhm.
groups, but I think pretty much every title track that they've released has been always kind of catches my attention, and it's always made it onto my kind of playlist that I keep track, that I like just continuously add K-pop to. So, I mean, they're back with another Fromis 9 classic. They're sticking to what they do well, and you know, I think that's more power to them. So, yeah.
I think it's also notable to say that not a lot of girl groups, especially ones that aren't immediately prominent, or and not like a group like Promise 9 was probably not destined to necessarily have a first full-length studio album, and that should be applauded in and of itself. So like I guess now that they're backed by
Lettuce.
Hybe, Pledis Hybe, they might have more assets to do so, but it's really great that they're able to release like a first studio album, right, which is selling hundreds of thousands of units, so that's great for them. I really liked the song too, but I think I liked was it the DM song that they also released like last summer, a couple summers ago?
Last year was Stay This Way.
So maybe another summer ago.
Maybe.
Because it was we did it in K-Bops at one point, and I was like, oh, I really liked that one. But yeah, I really like this one too. It was a solid release for me.
I think I did Stay This Way at one point. It was the one where they got a music bank win over Nayeon and like created a bunch of controversy.
Of course. Sorry, Chris, what were you gonna say?
I was saying I really liked the song too. It gives me like a very fresh summer feeling, a good summer type of song. And I think back to like we first saw them at KCON, right? Our very first KCON in
I think they were there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
were they
so-
there, or was it Cherry Bullet, or both?
Or
I think-
Rocket Punch.
I get those three mixed up, I will say.
I'm pretty sure it was them. 2019 KCON. If any listener would like to confirm
up.
with us.
Yeah.
And I just think how I was not very interested in them at that point.
Oh no, yeah,
But,
they
like-
were at KCON.
They were?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I think to that performance then, and I was like, it was nice, but it was very much, it was just not my vibe type of K-pop. But I do like now the direction that they're going and they're taking these songs. Seems like they're blowing up a lot more. But again, they're also starting to lean into the type of pop music that I really lean towards.
Yeah, they
they-
used to like before, like back when we saw them in KCON, they were kind of more of like a bubblegummy pop type of sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just kind of like their natural progression that they've matured into something different.
Right.
now.
And essentially that's like 4 years ago, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that it's Hybe taking them mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
That true. That too.
Yeah,
I don't know if they weren't mainstream before though, that's the thing. You know,
that's true.
I
They
think it's
just
just they
weren't
didn't have the
popular.
promotional, like, they didn't have the full apparatus of like hype and pledis behind them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but they had CJ E&M. I think that's the company that they were formed under, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they've always
they were
had
a group
resources.
that also had a whole bunch of produced girls on it.
Yeah.
Not any lineup winners, but they had a lot of trainees that got some popularity from Produce 48.
Mhm.
Anyways,
I want to say
Ashley,
that.
you were very passionate about this
Yeah.
album.
I love this song, and 2 weeks ago this was going to be my recommendation, but I got talked out of it and I recommended 17 instead, which also is a really good song. Please listen to that episode. But I just think that this is like a fun summer bop. It's like an instant replay for me. Whenever it comes on, it makes me so happy. And then when I think about the music video, it makes me even happier because they're just so like youthful and fun. I especially love Pajama Concept. Like when
Pajama sleepover.
yeah, the pajama sleepover where they're just in the living room and they're being silly and dancing. Like that's so fun. I loved it.
Pajama Concept, I love it.
It's because it reminds you of your own youth. That's why.
I know, just simpler times, I guess.
Yeah. Sometimes we need that.
Yeah. And I
Simpler
listened
times.
to the whole album. I don't remember the names of the songs that I like specifically, but I do remember that the vibe of Me Now is carried out throughout the album. So there's also like very good songs on there.
Mhm. Yeah, I listened to the full album also today just because you were talking about it.
Mhm.
And for me, I really liked the very first track. I think it's called Altitude. And then the very last one, Eye Contact. So that was fun. And then the whole album, yeah, you're right. Like they really stick to the whole theme. It's like kind of like a high school.
High School Musical 1, 2, or 3 game.
It's giving like High School Music. I think High School Musical 1, but like the part where Vanessa Hudgens is like sad and emo, you know?
Or High School Musical, the series.
In general.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. And like, I don't know. I think this whole like, it's so ironic because all of these idols that are singing about high school, like they've never been to a real high school before. Or maybe they have, but like not like a normal, like, American
high school.
Yeah,
I
that,
mean,
like,
but most of them were already debuted, so they didn't even go to like high school.
yeah, but it's just like, it's so funny that like they're conveying this like message so well, even though they have no idea like actually what it was like.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, K-pop idols are actors and actresses too. So, okay. All right, we always get a little bit of something with K-Bops, and I hope the listeners let us know what they've enjoyed over the last couple weeks in the comments. Thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. We are on Instagram at Idol Talk Pod. Please rate, review, and subscribe to us on all of our major podcast directories and streaming platforms. Please also send us any feedback or content requests, idoltalkpod@gmail.com. That's our email. And then we also have our content directory, idoltalkpod.uwu.ai, where you'll see previous episodes categorized, including song recommendations, concerts, and K-drama reviews, information about us. And also, we'd also like to plug our annual summer playlist, which we'll be updating at the end of this episode, and we'll repost it again. 2022 gave us a whole bunch of stuff that we need to update, and then we already have some from 2023. So we'll be updating that so that people can play it during their beach days and beach nights. And it'll be
Pajama sleepovers.
Yes, so we'll go ahead and post that again. Thank you again to all of our listeners. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm Vivian Yoon. Listen to K-Pop Dreaming from Elias Studios. I grew up in Koreatown in the 90s, and my friends and I could not get enough of K-pop.
Do you remember SES? Yes.
Come true.
So, how did the music that only Korean and Korean Americans listen to become a global cultural force? And what role did LA and Koreatown play in K-pop's rise? K-pop Dreaming. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.